Namato Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Zem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 28th May 2020. This is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen. I am here as usual to be part of you, and this is my first day that I'm wearing a proper robe without having the half covering the other clothes. I'm still feeling very hot. That's particularly this morning when I was weeding, and it was so hot that I couldn't stay outside, so I had to go inside and wait until the afternoon. So it's a really beautiful day today, and it's nice to have such weather once in a while, although this is not like a Scottish weather, but it's lovely to have it. And we can see people coming for a walk significantly increases every time when there is a good weather. It's nice to see them all around. And we also have started the renovation of the barn and working in the barn. Now we are insulating the roof at the moment. We have Ajahn Pira as the project manager, and we are helping one another to fix the insulate the roof at the moment. And today Eros also came down to help to insulate the ceilings. Meantime, also would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to Chitra and Nigel, who generously donated £100 towards the renovation of the barn. So thank you very much. Hopefully within 2 months' time the barn will be ready, so we can use it in a safe distance with a safe distance guidance, so we can use it for the meditation and other small ceremonies. At the moment we are not allowing anyone to come into the main building, but this hall we would be able to use it for that, and particularly the meditation. Those who are interested and would like to come along practice meditation, then they will be able to come and join. Again, I was having a meeting with the Interfaith Scotland, and then the majority were just talking around in Scotland how difficult it is for a significant number of people after this lockdown, and particularly those who are vulnerable and needed help. So also there are significant number of people increased for the food bank, and the churches and the communities are out there to help and provide the food, cooked food as well as uncooked food, distributing those who need around in Scotland. And Scottish Interfaith Interfaith Scotland also said that any organization or charity wishes to help distributing any community services, there is about £500 of funds available as well, which is quite interesting. So like that, it was quite interesting, although I didn't have much time to participate in that meeting due to my lunchtime. It was started 11:30 and ended at 12:30. and which is my perfect time for the lunch. So today it was my second time I joined during my lunch time. So I was just joining and listening rather than engaging with that meetings. But it's always nice to join and listen what's going on in a faith group in Scotland. So, and I found there are a couple of members interested to see a Buddhist monk in Aberdeen, and some even were surprised to see that we have a Buddhist monastery here in Aberdeen, and Buddhist monks are living here in Aberdeen. And it was quite interesting to inform them in a way, but pretty much lots of people already know about Buddhism, and as well as Buddhist monks' way of life, which is quite interesting. In relation to that, again, I was also reading some articles about, particularly in Thailand, there's an article going on saying that the UK royals, or the Queen and the royal families, are heavily or interested in studying Buddhism and meditation more than any other religions. And having read that article, I felt like it sounds positive, but it's not the true news. So I googled about some of the news, and I found that Prince Charles had different views on a religion, and he will be patron for all faiths rather than the faith of Church of England. And as a result, there was a debate that he should not be a patron for all the religions or the faith groups, but should be the patron of the religion or the Church of England. And then if he chooses to patron for all the faiths, then there will be a government resolution or discussion in the parliament should go on. They say the 1950s rules need to be changed if the Prince Charles wishes to, in case he becomes the king, and wishes to be patron for the old faith rather than just the Church of England. It's quite interesting. In the meantime, I also found a few articles saying that the Prince Harry and other Prince George and other royal families are also interested in Buddhist practices. Particularly, one of the articles suggests that Prince Harry is meditating almost every day, along with Michael, and he is constantly in connection with the Buddhist monks, and like that. So, which is quite interesting to know. But after I have read these articles, I replied to the Thai articles, personal an account, saying that it is true that there are some news and some interest from the British families about meditation and Buddhism, but unlikely that they will be converting, so-called, or Buddhism will be the main religion for their culture. So that was my response to what article was going around in Thailand. Nevertheless, it is quite good to know that Buddhism and meditation is growing all around, and we can see that meditation has changed so many people's life and making differences in their life, particularly those who are facing the difficulties, particularly emotional and stress and anxiety, and these mental problems still are referred to practice at least of mindful meditation as the option or that one can practice, which hasn't got the side effects if it's done properly, but it only gives good effects and positive effects. In relation to that, I was reading the Colin's reflection this morning. He wrote his reflection saying that one of his friends, she used to be sober at all the time, drinking alcohol and damaging her life for some times, and she came to contact with Colin, and Colin was able to introduce her to be able to know herself and be mindful, and then practicing of awareness. And with that, Colin was saying that this week he got a call from the same lady informing that it's what a wonderful to know that to know that she has given up drinking alcohol and transformed herself into more like a well person, and able to deal in her life more effectively. This also reminds me a story, and not a story but the true story that I come across. There's one gentleman, his name is John McDonald's in Aberdeen, and he used to smoke pretty a lot, and almost most of the time he stays indoor. After he retired, after his retirement, ever since, he normally comes out from his flat only occasionally, or if not needed, he would not come out, or just going for the doctor, or just getting cigarettes, and that's all that he goes out from his flat. And it was last year that his health was deteriorated, and after his health deteriorated, he was told that if it possible, stop smoking. And somehow, normally I heard so many stories saying that stop smoking is very difficult task, and sometimes people stop it for some days or some weeks, and then they will go back again taking a smoke, and again once they started again the smoking, they will take more smokes than previously, and like that. And that's why I was not sure that John will continue for some times. I was always thinking that he will go back and smoke again. But after 6 months of stop smoking, after 6 months of stop smoking, I saw some of the changes in his behaviors. Not only in his behaviors, but also his complexion become more shinier and looking like a healthier. And just last week I was able to observe him again, and I saw that all his nails are so perfectly healthy, looking healthy, and he had some sort of this peep coming out for many years now. And after this almost 1 year of stop smoking, that this big lump just broke, and all the peeps come out. So it was a dark blood kind of a peep just come out, and now it's flattened, and now he looks more healthier. And from there, when he was struggling a lot at that time last year, struggling with his so many other diseases, but after he stopped smoking, although it wasn't easy for a few weeks, but over the period of a time he was able to deal with it, and he looks perfectly fine. And I remember one time I asked him, does he miss smoking? And he said if I had known that this is so harmful to my body and it causes these problems, I would not have touched that from the beginning. So that was a beautiful story, and I listen him when we normally have a laugh and a chat in a different topics, and then it's been a few months, or it's been a long time, that nowadays he just shave heads like me. He just shaved completely and like me, and then every time when I go, and he normally shows off his head saying that, oh, I have shaved my head, and then I normally joke him saying, well, why don't you put on a robe? And his face just goes, very laughing. It was quite fun, and so that's like that. So this is, it's how we can transform ourselves, and then this is what I have experienced over this time, and seen. In the meantime, nowadays he's listening the Dhamma talks, and also talking on Dhammas, and then I normally joked him whenever we had very hard discussions, and say that I think you need to be prepared, and then he normally say, it's okay. And there was one time he was frightened of death, and he thought that he's gonna die, and he was very serious, mentally very serious. And then I normally go and speak with him, and stay with him, talk with him, and then we had a laugh, and like that. And gradually he was able to embrace this uncertainty, and kind of okay towards this death. I even told him that I will write an eulogy for him. And it's a beautiful story that he told about his childhood, about his growing up, and then how he worked and how he came to work like that. So it's a nice, particularly this time of a lockdown, and I think when we are sharing these personal stories one another, it's quite encouraging us, and also helping one another. That's the I think one of the counseling skills, or the counselors do, is the active listening. And this is, I think, we are lacking at this time, particularly this time of a pandemic. And since we have to stay in a small place, in the flats, and not like here in our monastery, we have a space, and a big space we can go around, and we are busy with working different projects at the moment. And despite of that, sometimes we do feel emotionally some sort of disagreements, and some sort of conflicts, and dislikes, and like that. And yet, because we have a space, we can go around, and we can watch our thoughts and watch our minds, and then we come back for a meditation, a chanting and meditation. And each time we do chanting and meditation, we are cleansed, and we gradually able to detect those emotional states of the mind, and gradually we are able to let go. And although we are living only 4 of us at the center, I have to deal with all 4 of them, including me. And sometimes here there emotional disagreements and things, and then I just need to be there actively listening. So that's why I have heard so many other stories from other families around the UK, as well as in the world, basically that it's very difficult to deal within the family as well. And my advice, always been in this time, is to be actively listening rather than try to fix the problem. We have to take away this fixing mind, but actively listening, and knowing that how much emotionally we are down, and how much we are frustrated and anxious. And because of this anxiety and stress and confined in a small place, these emotions boils up. Knowing that, knowing that I have been like this, and so others are also facing in that way. Whenever they are expressing, simply there to listen, and listening, active listening, what they are saying, and not just picking up what they are saying, but behind the stories that they are telling. And with that, we can generate more compassion towards them. And with this active listening, sometimes we don't have to do anything. We don't have to tell anything at all. And it's quite amusing and amazing as well, that you're simply listening what they have to say, and somehow we don't have to say anything, and they find their own ways to deal with that, and they say, oh, that's fine now, I feel much better. And sometimes I think I haven't done anything. I was just on the phone talking to them, and I haven't even said you have to meditate or you have to chant, be calm and be understanding them, or like, I haven't said anything, yet active listening has helped them to find their own ways. And then this is what we are lacking, particularly this pandemic time. So I think I would encourage or advise you to be an active listener to your children or to your partners or to your family members, and as well as, if you can extending it to your friends and other relatives out there, or even just the neighbors. Sometimes they need to pour it, they need to express it, and in that case you just be there as a dustbin with a bottomless dustbin. Listen there and just throw it away, and do not keep it. And this is the path that the Buddha taught, called letting go. And I normally give this simile of letting go as a dustbin in your room. We put everything in the dustbin in our room first before we take it to the bigger bin. And then when we put into the bin in our rooms, we know where it is, and oftentimes we go and grab it just to recheck it whether it is the right one or wrong. And I have done a couple of times, and then after that we take that bin to the bigger bin in the kitchen. And then we still know, although we have thrown it away in the bin, we still know that there is there, and there is possibility, if we still have the attachment, then we will go back and pick them up again. And then there is a third bin, is the outside of the house. So we put it in outside a big bin, and we still know that we still have this longing or hanging or attachment to that sort of feelings and emotions. And then with that, there is a possibility that we will go back and collect again, and pick it up and look at that, and longing, and again going into the stories and so and so. But what we know at the last step is that once the council has taken it away, then there is no way that we will pick it up. So there are 4 ways of letting go, whether it is anything that is harming, or that is causing you to be stressed, or causing you feel unhappy, or disappointment, or argument, and these things. So whenever we are with other members or listening to someone else, we just need to let it go, and letting go in different ways. These 4 ways that we can do. It is not just the stories from others, but also our emotions, our disappointments, and again, sometimes any situation can arise, and that makes us unhappy and cause the resistance or ill will and things. So rather than developing in that way, we simply let go, letting go in that way. So, and this is clearly said in the first discourse of the Buddha that gave to the 5 ascetics for the first time. He said, Chago, Patinisako, Mutti, Analayo. So these are the 4 ways of letting go, and that's the path. And this is what Buddha meant, is that we have to let go of all the tanha, all the cravings and attachments, and that's how you will be able to free yourself and be happy. And this is, I think, we have to develop in this pandemic time, being active listener and ability to let go, not just the stories that we hear, but also any emotional things that is attached to us, then also we can let go. So this is, I think, I offer this as a reflection, as like a miscellaneous, and this and so many stories, or there is no specific topic as I was focusing on a couple of days, because someone requested me to explain on the controlling faculties. So I was concentrating on that for about 3-4 days, but today we don't have any particular topic, but here and there all the reflections and the connections or feedbacks that I received, I'm just sharing with you what we have been doing and what we have done and what's going on. Right, so I think from tomorrow we are in Scotland. We are also having a little bit of a freedom, so-called. So in this way, in this case, still be mindful wherever you go out, and stay safe and take care. With this, I end for tonight's reflection and talk, and may you be happy, peaceful, successful, and stay safe, take care, and learn to active listening to yourself, to others, and then developing the sense of a letting go. And with that, we can be happy here and hereafter. So may you be happy, peaceful, and good night. If you're continuing, we'll see you again for chanting and meditation, but if not, we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30. Until then, good night. Thank you everyone for listening and coming back. So we'll see you shortly for the chanting and guided meditation. Thank you.